Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and if you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. And in this video, we're going to be talking about all things lens blur. What it is, how to use it, how to access it, how to download it, the whole shebang. Let's get straight into it. So it used to be you had to have an expensive, high-quality lens and camera in order to achieve a nice, Bokalicious, blurred out, pristine background. However, now, thanks to the new Photoshop 2024 update, we are now able to achieve this same exact look, but just through lens blur. Hello, 2023. Big changes, everyone. So, if you are not aware of all the new updates and features in the new 2024 Photoshop update, definitely go back and watch my previous video if you have not already. This new feature of lens blur is mind-blowing. So let's get straight into how to actually access it or download it. So in order to access this feature, you have to go to Creative Cloud Desktop, go to Apps. From there, you will see where it says Updates. And then it's gonna say if you have something that needs updated, which in this case I had to update Photoshop. You're gonna see Photoshop and you're gonna update. It's gonna ask you now or later, and you're gonna hit now, or I typically like to hit now. And then you're gonna let it update and do its thing. And once it's fully updated, then you're able to launch Photoshop and use the new lens blur feature. Now, once in Photoshop, we have to go up top where it says filter. We scroll down where it says camera raw filter. And from there, we're able to access lens blur. Now, if this is your first time using Photoshop or Camera Raw after the update, it will just let you know some of the new features that has been updated within the new update, such as high dynamic range output, lens blur, point color, and so on. So you can go ahead and check those out if you like. But for this video, we're only focusing on lens blur. So you can either select learn more or get started, whether you want to learn more about the other features, or we can just continue on with our tutorial. So you would notice where it says lens blur and it says early access, because this feature is still in beta. So it's not fully out of beta, it's still in beta. So what you're going to want to do is all you have to do is hit apply and then just give it a second, give it a few seconds or minutes, depending on how quick or slow your computer is or desktop. It will have a little circle and it's like kind of like it's buffering or loading before you can fully use it. So you have to wait a few minutes, a few seconds, however long it takes. And when it's fully blue and the circle is colored entirely blue, it's fully loaded, and you will know when it's loaded and you will be able to actually use the lens blur feature.
A few moments later.
Okay, so it just now loaded, and as we see all of our sliders are now available. And if you visibly look at our photograph, the lens blur has already been applied. Because if we already look at the background, it is now slightly blurred. So it automatically, without doing anything, just from hitting apply, it will blur the amount to 50%. So if you would like less blur or more blur, you can increase or decrease the blur amount by adjusting the blur amount slider. Next, we have Bokeh. So if you don't already know what Bokeh is, basically it's the visual quality of the out of focus areas of a photographic image. It's basically an aesthetic quality of the blur produced in out of focus parts of an image. So usually caused by circles of confusion. So it looks really cool, and a lot of photographers go for that gorgeous bokeh look whenever they're taking photographs with a shallow depth of field, and it just looks so good. So using the bokeh feature in lens blur, you're able to change the look of the bokeh in your photograph for the background and change it to your preference, however you want the circles to be shaped. So just play around with it and try each one until you get your desired look for your bokeh. You are able to use the boost slider in order to boost the size of your bokeh. So whether you want it larger or smaller, you can increase the amount of bokeh or decrease the amount of bokeh depending on how much of a pow you want, how significant you want the bokeh to be in your photograph. So next, what we have here is focal range. So you're probably wondering, what is focal range? So basically, What it is by default, Photoshop automatically sets the focal range using AI-powered subject detection, which is what this icon with the person indicates right here. So you'll notice that the focal range box has yellow to blue colors, indicating the near and far focal ranges. In order to see this visual representation over your image, all you have to do is just check the visualize depth box, and that's how you're able to see it visibly over your photo. So all this is a synthetic depth map Photoshop created. So anything yellow and warm is close and near to you, and anything in blue or is cool are the things that are further away. So we already talked about how we can automatically set the focal range using the AI powered subject detection, which is integrated within lens blur, but we can also manually set it by enabling this button right here. So the focal range box literally just adjusts the range of areas that are in focus. That's all it really means. So, for example, you can make the box wider to have more areas in focus, or you can make the box thinner to blur more areas, depending on how you want your photo to look. Now let's do a quick before and after. Wow, look at that. That is a huge difference. So we learned how to use lens blur on a photograph with one person. Let's test how good lens blur is up against a photo with two people. So once again, we're gonna go up top where it says filter, and then we're gonna select camera raw filter. And then once that is done, camera raw filter is gonna open up, and then we're gonna be able to select where it says lens blur. So once again, we're going to check off the box that says apply. Once again, we're gonna allow that circle to fully load so that we can then use lens blur. And then we will adjust our sliders like so, and adjust the lens blur according to how we like it and our personal preference, using the blur amount slider, the bokeh, the boost slider, as well as the focal range. I'm just going to fast forward this part just a little bit since we've already gone over each of these sliders and features. When you're done, you can hit OK and it will apply the lens blur. I failed to mention this earlier, apologize for that. So let's check out this before and after. So it did pretty good. It blurred out the background beautifully. So we're gonna go over one last example. I'm going to do a group of people and see if it has the same exact results. Now let's check this before and after. And voila, it was able to do it with a group of people as well. So that's it for this video. If you got some value out of it, definitely drop me a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on any notifications in the future when a video of mine pops up. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.